Howdy there, viewer. Australia, the worst country on earth. Now, if you read the title, I'm sure you already know where this is going. In case you've been living under a rock for the past few weeks, Steam recently announced that they may start to remove certain games at the behest of payment processors, if those titles in question contain questionable or problematic content. Now, what exactly does that entail? Anything these companies don't like, apparently. Now, this is nothing new. Companies like this have been bullying storefronts into submission for a while now. I mean, just a little over a year ago, MasterCard and Visa were going after Pixiv for pretty much the same reason. Pixiv even had to basically region lock most of the site from showing up at all if you set your region anywhere outside of Japan. Thank goodness for that. As we all know, American entertainment is too highbrow and wholesome to ever depict such unsavory and immoral acts. But in all seriousness, this is starting to get very annoying. Time and time again, the parties being affected, be it Pixiv, Steam, Etsy, or whatever else, bend the knee and allow themselves to be walked all over. And people cheer for it too. The amount of bozos I see online in the replies of announcements like this saying based or moral fagging about how this is actually a good thing is frankly enough pathetic. That's the thing these people don't seem to get. This sort of censorship isn't ever just gonna end at things you don't like. It's only a matter of time until it gets wielded against you. And we're already starting to see that in effect, what with Fansly updating its policies to go after certain types of furry content. And with that change, of course, now it becomes a real issue. The very same people who were defending censorship all of a sudden think it's a bad thing. Oh, piss off, as if you're somehow any better than Cunny Crusader over there, sobbing over a picture of Ibuki. These issues only ever seem to be brought up when something that's generally deemed acceptable gets affected. That's always the problem, isn't it? People always defend these companies doing crappy things to consumers so they can feel morally superior to the people they dislike. And then, big shocker, nobody does anything and we let things get worse. The fact that there's AAA games on Steam that release and get acclaimed and celebrated with full uncensored gay sex and bestiality, yet I have to install a patch so I can play a visual novel is laughable. Heck, sometimes these games don't even make it to the store, or if they do, they gotta wait weeks to get approved. Well, things seem to be recently coming to a bit of a boil, now with the schizophrenic ramblings of our latest villainous group, Collective Shout. This is an Australian activist group. Wait, they're Australian? Well, that explains a lot now, doesn't it? They've been campaigning for a lot of these games to be pulled down. They were actually the ones contacting those payment processors to pull their support from Steam to begin with. But hold on a second, let's give the benefit of the doubt here. Let's not just jump in and begin blindly hating. Maybe there's an actual motive behind all of this that we can somewhat get behind and understand. Spoilers, there isn't. Founded by Melinda Tankard Reist, Collective Shout prides itself on fighting the cruel objectification and sexualization of young girls in media. Wow, what a touching cause. I'm really brought to tears. What are you doing to help fix this prevalent problem in our society? Well, why don't we take a look at this article from them and find out. Here, it's titled Cuties, an ethically problematic but powerful protest against the sexualization of girls.
I want to kill the fat faggot myself, be a fucking honor.
Did your father drop you at birth? Wait, no, I'm sorry. Judging by your behavior, I'm pretty sure you never had one to begin with. The rest of their site is full of crap like this. They'll spend all the time in the world going after random no-name Steam games. But when real children are being exploited, well, can't go after the hand that feeds you, now can ya? They're even trying to campaign to get GTA 5 and Detroit Become Human pulled off store shelves. Suffice to say, that's obviously not gonna happen. One of the best-selling games of all time isn't going to be pulled off because a coven of mentally disabled feminists are whining about it. It's one thing to kill off interactive sex, Futanari Episode 3, but if you actually think you're going to get a titan like GTA taken down, then you might just truly need to be institutionalized. When people rightfully call them out for their retardation, they of course resort to a feminist's last gambit, the victim card. Death threats and harassment is the go-to shield for anybody getting flack online. Come on, it's the internet. You could post anything and some morons are gonna reply telling you to go choke on a pile of chalk. Complaining about getting death threats online is like complaining about getting groomed at a Smash Brothers tournament. It's inevitable. It's tiring to see these people point at the large majority presenting genuine arguments against the stupid crap they're spilling out, all for them to write it all off as blind harassment. No, bozo, we hate you because you're wrong and evil. Though judging by the fact that you're going so far as to create fake harassment emails to appear like more of a victim, I doubt you'll actually take any of this to heart. These people are genuinely pathetic, but most of all, they're malicious. Don't fool yourself into feeling sympathy for any of them. They know exactly what they're doing. They parade around noble causes like helping the vulnerable or protecting kids like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They don't actually give a damn about any of these causes. If they did, they'd be doing something to help real victims of tragedy, or to help parents actually raise their children, instead of sitting them in front of an iPad all day and expecting the internet to do it for them. But as we've already seen, that isn't where their interest lies. They go after entertainment, not to do any good, but to abuse and enforce what little power they have. Everything has to be molded to fit their worldview. These people aren't interested in helping these industries, be it games, anime, or whatever, grow and improve. They want it to be controlled to the point where they and they alone get to decide on what gets to be released, what people get to play or watch, and how they have to play or watch it. If it isn't in line with their sensibilities, then nobody has the right to see it. And these aren't just angry moms whining in the street to nobody. These are people with actual power, large companies, government agencies, oftentimes even developers themselves, all working to push this agenda of a very specific ideology. I know a lot of people talk about the good old days of the early 90s and how things were so much better. And don't get me wrong, I'm inclined to agree. But I'm a dirty zoomer. I grew up in the 2010s, and the one thing I have to say about the modern gaming scene is that the biggest advantage is all the diversity. No, not that gay-ass globo-homo diversity. Real diversity. The fact that any gooner with an internet connection can get their ass on a chair and make something. You don't have to pitch your weird idea to a studio, but with enough elbow grease, you can do it yourself. That led to some great games, even smaller titles that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And some even end up growing to the point where they surpass what the big guys are making. Be it the Western indie scene or Eastern Dojin works, I think the level of accessibility for anybody to be able to make something is what ultimately lies at the core of what makes this medium so special. But with these bozos trying to impose all these policies, you can kiss that all goodbye. Omori features depictions of suicide. Banned. Deltarune features violence against women. Banned. The Coffin of Andy and Lele. Do I really need to elaborate? Oh, and let's not even start talking about half of the stuff you can find on DL site. The average eroge would probably kill one of these cretins from shock alone. Why are we letting people whose only goal is to destroy everything you hold dear make decisions about the future of these industries? Too much power has already been given to these crappy companies. Nobody gets to decide what games get to be made other than developers. Nobody gets to decide what games get to be played besides players. This isn't about voting with your wallet. These people don't care about your money. Companies have been bleeding cash, forcing this crap down your throat for a while now. And heck, even Japan seems to lick the boot anytime they're abused like this. No, what people really need is alternatives. People need to take action against bad actors like this. The hold Steam alone has on the PC gaming marketplace is absurd. Alternatives like GOG exist and they're great, but it isn't enough. As cheesy as it sounds, we, as gamers, shouldn't allow individual companies to hold so much power in preserving the integrity of this industry. Back in the day, people made games, of course, for money, but more than anything, passion. It wasn't guaranteed that video games would be this huge industry with a bunch of potential for profit. People made games for the people who wanted to play them. But now, with so many bad actors just trying to use the medium to further their own social or political goals, it's up to the next generation of developers and players to work towards making sure such individuals don't twist the industry into something it isn't, something it should never be. At the end of the day, as a wise man once said,
Boom. It's all about the game.
Howdy there. I know this was a bit different from what I normally make. This has just been a topic that I'm quite passionate about, and with everything going on right now, I thought what better time to finally make a short video on it. I know this was more of a schizo rant, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. Let me know if you like this sort of thing, or hey, let me know if you hate it. Either way, I'll be seeing you soon.